I really do view this campaign as a campaign between Scranton and Park Avenue.
MSNBC host Stephanie Ruhle went after Joe Biden for reaching out to working class voters. This is a short clip, but it really tells you everything you need to know.
Michael, Joe Biden said yesterday that his campaign is Scranton versus Park Avenue. Why is he going with this divide and conquer approach? That's Trump's thing. What about a message for all Americans? I don't live on Park Avenue, but I live pretty close to it. And you know how I got there? Working my butt off. He doesn't want my vote?
All right. This is insane. Right now you have record unemployment, an eviction crisis, families living paycheck to paycheck. And Stephanie Ruhle is all about rich lives matter. It shows you how out of touch mainstream media is with the average person. And that it's not just, like, this is not somebody who is simply towing a line. No, she's rich. She's incredibly wealthy. Her view of the world is very different than the average person. To not recognize the unique time you are in right now, with this pandemic, with this crisis, this economic crisis, the way it's impacting people, to be bothered over a single line in a speech. Joe Biden is not this major champion of the working class. People know that. All he did was, through rhetoric, discuss how, he's going to fight more for the average person than the wealthy. Just rhetoric. And she's still bothered by that. She's bothered by a crumb for the working class. That bothers her. Now, the other part here, working my butt off. This is straight out of the Republican playbook. That, if you're not successful, if you're facing eviction, well, that's your fault. It's because you didn't work hard enough. If you do just an ounce of research, the one thing that dictates your success in life the most, that is likely to predict how successful you're going to be, is what zip code you're born into. It's all about where you're born. That's rolling dice. You can't pick where you're going to be born, where you're going to live. So if you grow up in a poor neighborhood, you are more likely to be poor as an adult. If you grow up wealthy, like maybe Stephanie Ruhle did, it's going to be a little different. So let me touch on a bit of that here. Scott Glenn, this random Twitter user, got to give him credit here, pulled this out of Wikipedia. So Stephanie Ruhle's early life. Her parents are Frank and Louise Ruhle, and she was raised in Park Ridge, New Jersey. She is a graduate of Lay University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in international business in 1997. As part of her major, she studied in Guatemala, Italy, and Kenya. Ruhle returned to Lay to give the 2017 commencement address. This is the median household income of where she grew up. Over $100,000. She's privileged, which is fine. Many people are privileged, but it's important to recognize when you are and to maybe work to help others who are not as lucky as you are. I'm pretty lucky. Not maybe as lucky as Ruhle is, but I grew up well off. I spend my time now trying to inform others of what needs to be done to help everybody else. But instead, Stephanie Ruhle goes on television and complains when Biden makes one comment reaching out to the working class. Also here, during that same time, while this is the median income of her of where she grew up, this is the median household income of the U.S. as a whole, 61 grand, showing you, again, she grew up in a much more privileged area. Also worth mentioning, she has a $7.5 million townhouse Though I'm going to guess it's worth a little bit more now, as this was in 2017. And I think I have one more thing here. Ah, yes. This is just to show you the latte liberal brain. This is not Stephanie Ruhle, but it is someone much like her, Soledad O'Brien here. Biden just tweeting out again. This election is Scranton versus Park Avenue. Soledad, someone else who was incredibly wealthy and privileged, really bothered by this. Or both. New York City's Park Avenue is amazing. No need to knock it. Would be nice to have a president who sees every American as worth fighting for. Thank you. Yes, because the Soledads of the world, the Stephanie Ruhles, they have it really bad right now. Got to focus on rich lives matter. Got to care about the rich. If this doesn't show you how out of touch these people are and why you should never listen to them when it comes to their political analysis, I don't know what can. Now, again, that isn't to say, Soledad, forget about it. I muted her a while ago. But Stephanie Ruhle has had on people like Bernie Sanders. They've had good conversations before. She's been able to report, reality at times. I think she even had a video on democratic socialism once that wasn't horrible. So you have to be able to, also parse that out and understand that they're capable of doing good work at times. But ultimately, when you see them view their own opinions, as we do here, the real truth comes out.